France's economy is truly fascinating. Not only is it one of the largest in the world, but it also serves as a role model for dozens of countries. Moreover, France boasts one of the best economies for the working class. However, there are underlying issues that, if left unaddressed, could threaten this seemingly perfect economy. One significant problem is France's negative trade balance, with imports far exceeding exports. Additionally, the country had been grappling with a budget deficit for a long time, up to the point where even European Union warned them about it. Moreover, France suffers from one of the highest unemployment rates in the European Union, which is particularly concerning. These issues, among many others, suggest that the cracks in France's economic facet might be more serious than they appear at first glance. The idea of France's economy having trouble is pretty scary, not only because it is one of the biggest economies in the world, but it is also a major leader in the European Union in terms of both economy and military. If France starts having problems, it could spread to the rest of Europe, hurting the economies of many other countries that depend on each other for their economical well-being. To really understand how and why France's economy is in trouble, we should break it down into several chapters. How did France's economy become prosperous? What troubles are haunting France's economy and what caused them? Can France overcome these problems and keep its place as the leader of the European Union? World War II was terrible for many countries, but France was particularly hard hit due to their defeat to Germany. Not only were they occupied, but they also lost up to 2 million buildings during the war. Their railway networks, ports and other transportation systems were mostly bombed. Factories were stripped, with imported machinery either transported to German factories or damaged in the war. Adding to this, France was still recovering from the damage caused by World War I. Industries were destroyed and a significant portion of housing had to be rebuilt. Things were not looking very bright for France. However, the United States, through the Marshall Plan, decided to invest billions of dollars into rebuilding Europe. At the time, $1 billion investment could do a lot, even for big countries, since the wealthiest people at the time were barely worth more than $1 billion. France was the second biggest recipient of the Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan was crucial for both sides. If the United States did not help France, there was a chance that the Soviet Union could gain more influence in France, potentially turning one of Europe's biggest powerhouse under Soviet influence. On the other hand, a prosperous France meant that they would be able to buy whatever America produced, boosting the United States economy as well. But the Marshall Plan alone would not be enough to propel France towards prosperity. So what else helped France on getting back on its feet? Well, enter Jean Monnet, a brilliant French economist and civil servant who created a plan that would modernize and rebuild the French economy. So, what was so special about Monnet's plan? Monnet's strategy focused on 6 key areas: coal mining, steel, electricity, rail transport, cement and farm machinery. These sectors were the backbone of the plan, ensuring that France had enough energy and resources needed to rebuild its industries. While not every goal was met, the Monnet plan succeeded in getting France's economy back on its track. But that's not the whole story. Not only was France a geopolitical powerhouse, but it was also conveniently close to other major European nations like the United Kingdom, Germany and Italy. This proximity made cooperation and trade much easier. Cooperation was one of the main factors that boosted France's economy. The first major treaty for Europe's trade and cooperation was the European Coal and Steel Community. So why was this treaty so important? Well, by sharing resources and information, member countries could make their coal and steel industries more efficient, which was crucial for producing power and rebuilding industrial capacities. 6 countries, Germany, France, Italy, the Netherlands, Belgium and Luxembourg, signed the treaty, setting the stage for a more integrated Europe. Then, in 1957, these same 6 countries took another bold step by signing the Treaty of Rome. This treaty promoted deeper integration and reduced trade barriers, making it even easier for European nations to work together. Thanks to these efforts, France's economy was booming. They had broken down trade barriers and secured vital resources, paving the way for an economical renaissance. Obviously, things were not as smooth as the statistics might suggest. There were many protests that shaped French worker rights. Despite these challenges, France still experienced 3 decades of unprecedented economic growth between 1945 and 1975. The government was heavily investing into key industries, essentially boosting and making a strong foundation for the country's economy.
Here's our Europe editor, Katya Adler.
Paris, supposed to be the city of love, is exploding again into hateful confrontation. Riot police versus angry youths, many under the age of 18. There's talk the French government may be forced to call a state of emergency.
Government intervention can be a double-edged sword for the economy. While France enjoys benefits of heavy government intervention, such as good worker rights and one of the best railway networks in the world, there are some areas that are hurt by the intervention. One major issue is France's complex rules and regulations, which could hurt the country's long-term economic prospects. High unemployment is a significant concern too. Currently, France has a 7.3% unemployment rate, making it the 6th highest in the European Union, whereas the average is 6%. Even more worrying is the high youth unemployment rate at 70%, compared to the European Union's average of 13.8%. This persistent high unemployment could negatively impact the French pension system, which relies on working people contributing taxes to fund pensions for retirees. With high unemployment and public spending, France had to take on more debt to fund its system. In 2019, France's national debt-to-GDP ratio was around 97%, but the COVID-19 pandemic bumped it up to 110% by 2022, which is the 3rd highest in the European Union after Greece and Italy. Morgan Stanley also expects debt-to-GDP ratio to rise above 130% by 2040. Solving this problem by raising taxes is not a viable option, as France is already one of the most taxed countries on earth, with the highest tax-to-GDP ratio among OECD countries. The labor market is in difficult position as well. While France has a high inflow of immigrants, it struggles to assimilate all of them. Complex laws and regulations make it more expensive for companies to create new jobs. For multinational companies, setting up headquarters in France is not attractive despite the access to European Union markets. Countries like Ireland or Cyprus offers better tax benefits and fewer regulations, making them a more appealing option. Moreover, France might have to face fierce competition in manufacturing sector, with Asian countries such as China and India offering cheap production costs. These issues create significant challenges for France's economy, making it harder to maintain its positions as a leading economic power in Europe. France might be in a tough spot, but saying it's all doom and gloom would be a lie. Despite all of those issues, France still has time to fix them. The challenge lies in implementing potentially unpopular changes, like raising the pension age, which has faced strong opposition, or relaxing other aspects of governmental control. Compared to other European nations that are facing stagnation, France is in much better position. France continues to attract new immigrants that want to work and pursue education. The country is also making efforts to avoid further debt and address its issues. The deficit is not the root problem, it's a symptom of overcomplicated regulations and high taxation that hinder economic prospects. It could also be another symptom of the education system not being fully compatible with the job market, that makes it hard to assimilate immigrants in their economy. However, there is still a lot of room for growth. France could, in theory, return to its old ways, setting up focused plans for economic growth and investing in key industries. To compare France to countries like Italy and Greece would be dishonest and short-sighted. While France is close behind those two countries in terms of some statistics, both of those countries had years of mismanagement behind them. Moreover, their resources were more or less depleted, and their situation was hopeless once the problems became obvious. Thanks for watching my video. If you have enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel so you will not miss out on our future uploads.